Yellow, my Sting Nation army here. I'm Stinger M, and don't mind this stutter. I just recently got into a car accident, so I got a little bit of brain damage. And I'm here with Calabasa.
Hey, how's it going, guys? This is Calabasa. How's it going, my darling little demons?
We're here to react to the one that was mentioned in one of the comments to check out this video of the old man.
Which I remembered as Radical Larry, SCP-106.
Yes.
Okay.
One of the commenters suggested it for us to watch. So that's what we're here to do today.
I am really anxious because I've been really interested in, hearing about SCP-106 for a long time. But like I said, because I watched the game, I remembered him as Radical Larry.
Yeah, and I'm really sorry about the speech. It's the result of the accident, and I was admitted into the hospital for 2 days because of it.
Yeah, I still want to kick that guy's ass.
I'm not gonna say who it was, but basically, watch out for people running a red light. Okay, I got T-boned because of it.
Yeah, watch the lights, use a turning signal, and please.
Off your god dang phone. I got into that's my second car accident that involves someone being on their phone.
Yeah, stay off the goddamn phone, people.
They gave me an post-traumatic concussion with aphasia. And if you don't know what aphasia is, it's an after effect that causes your speech or some kind of disformation to happen. And for me, it gave me a stutter, and I have to go to speech therapy now to help get it back to normal.
But speech therapy will be great because, I mean, when I was a kid, I also had a natural stutter because I'm autistic. So when I went to speech therapy, my speech actually's gotten better. So don't worry, you'll get better. It'll take some time. All right, let's do this.
Yeah.
Leroy Jenkins!
Oh my god.
That's at least 2 more casualties. We might be all that's left of the recovery team.
Command, we're gonna need backup. We've stumbled upon another ambush. And can someone please get the lights back on? We're sitting ducks out here.
Please, remain calm. Panicking isn't going to help anyone. We aren't going to be able to get you any backup. SCP-106 isn't the only entity that escaped during the power outage, and our forces are stretched too thin as it is. And as for the lights, the repair is proving to be much more difficult than previously expected.
It's kind of buffering on me.
Great.
Let's try this again.
Oh my god.
That's at least 2 more casualties. We might be all that's left of the recovery team.
Command, we're gonna need backup. We've stumbled upon another ambush. And can someone please get the lights back on? We're sitting...
It's really lagging for me.
Yeah, it's lagging on me, too.
Sorry Sorry for technical difficulties.
Do 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 do.
Let's see if I can.
Oh my
Like, switch
god.
it up on.
That's at least 2 more casualties. We might be all that's left of the recovery team.
Command, we're gonna need backup. We've stumbled upon another ambush.
Sorry about that.
Okie dokie.
And can someone please get the lights back on?
Yep.
We're sitting ducks out here.
Please remain
Much
calm.
better.
Panicking isn't going
Yes.
to help anyone. We aren't going to be able to get you any backup. SCP-106 isn't the only entity that escaped during the power outage, and our forces
Dead
are stretched
space
too
much?
thin as it is. And as for the lights, the repair is proving to be much more difficult than previously expected.
Great, so we're screwed.
Shut up, Lawrence. Dr. Buck is right. The only
It's
way we're gonna
game
make it out
over,
of here
man.
alive is if we stay in control.
In control of what? We've got no lights, only light ammunition, not that that would matter anyway, and it looks like every other team has been ripped apart limb by limb, sucked into some crazy pocket dimension or worse.
Oh,
Teams
so
that got a
that's
lot
what they
more
were called.
combat
Pocket
experience than us,
dimension.
Bill.
Yep.
You know, I was an electrician before I became a guard here. Maybe we can go and assist.
I told you to shut up.
Maintenance has just reported back. Power should be
It's
on
game
site-wide within a
over,
few
man.
minutes.
Oh, thank God.
And we are almost ready prepping his temporary cell. Return back to the mission command and we will set the
Temporary
trap.
cell?
I don't like
All right.
the sound of that.
Let's get a move on.
Oh, dear goodness.
You know,
What
you actually
was
sounded
that?
pretty worried there for a second, Bill. You
Am
usually
I
only
growing
hunt
blinder?
young
Did that
people, right?
bloodstain get
I think you're
bigger?
safe.
It did.
I'm like 6 months older than you. And I know we're friends, but I'm technically your commanding officer, so...
Ugh.
Run! Run!
Hi, Larry.
Mission command to all MTF units, please respond. Mission command to all MTF units, please respond.
Please evacuate.
Very well then. Gustav. Gustav!
Yes, Dr. Buck.
Have you been able to reach any of the recovery teams?
No, ma'am, it's complete radio silence. Not even maintenance is responding now.
Nope.
How's Dr. Ahmad doing?
He's hurt pretty bad. But I think we managed to stop the bleeding.
Oh, it froze on me.
Well, that's one positive at least. Albeit a pointless one unless the main power doesn't come back on soon.
So SCP-106 is as bad as they say then, huh?
Oh,
No, he's worse. Those that see the absolute depths of SCP-106's cruelty never live to speak about it. He's different from the other monsters here in the Foundation. He's not some mindless animal, he's an apex predator, and he hunts exclusively for sport.
Ew.
How old are you, Gustav?
24?
We just need to come up with a plan. We have limited power from the backup generator, but that only lasts for so long, and I'm not sure if it's strong enough to operate the floodlights at a high enough wattage to contain SCP-106.
Oh, fuck.
Then maybe I can go. The main electrical distribution room isn't that far from here. I don't have any experience working with those kinds of systems, but...
Wasting my time with stupid ideas. It's not as easy as flipping a switch.
Got any
Sorry,
other
Dr.
ideas?
I'm sorry for lashing out like that. The truth is, everyone who has gone out there is probably dead. No need adding you to that list. Plus, I need you here. We're going to start the recall protocol.
But I thought you said you weren't sure if the generator could power the floodlights.
I'm not sure. But we have to try something. And every second we waste makes our success less and less likely. The D-Class.
Yes, ma'am.
oh boy.
Come on, talk to me, man. What's going on here? What are you going to do to my leg? I don't like this.
We're gonna amputate it and test it for coronavirus.
For what it's worth, I don't like it either.
Hey, that's okay. I know you're just trying to do your job. But before we do anything crazy, let's hash it out. What's your name, man?
Gustav.
My name's Angelo. See? We're friends already. Please, I don't like this, Gustav. What's going to happen to me?
I'm sorry, Angelo.
Please, Gustav, I don't know what you're planning on doing with that thing, but please, just don't.
I am about to initiate recall protocol. Go ahead and turn on the site-wide intercoms.
Roger that. Okay,
Larry.
you should be ready to proceed.
Why?
Begin the procedure.
D397194. This is going to hurt a lot. Don't try to act tough. We're counting on your screams of pain to attract SCP-106. And if this doesn't work, I will be forced to slice open your Achilles.
No!
Ew.
What? No. Please, Gustav, don't do this. Come on, buddy. I'll do anything. Send me out there. I can get help or fight this thing. Whatever it takes. Just don't.
Larry.
Good job, Gustav. His screams should draw an SCP-106.
What are you doing to that poor man?
Dr. Ahmad, you're awake.
Hard not to be with all that screaming. And we're in the middle of maybe the worst containment breach this site has ever seen. I think we can do without the formalities, Amelia.
Very well, Tim.
But back to my question. What are you doing to that D-class in there?
We broke his femur with a mallet. We needed screams of fear and pain to attract SCP-106. And once he's in there, we will flood the room with roughly 80,000 lumens of light, which will hopefully disorient him enough to contain him.
Is that standard protocol?
Yes. No.
That can't be good.
Dr. Buck, the power's out. What's the backup plan?
There is no backup plan.
So you broke my leg for nothing?
You need to get out of there. SCP-106 has almost certainly heard the D screams and will be here any moment.
The door is not budging, Dr. Buck. What am I supposed to do?
Looks like we're gonna die together, buddy.
No, not like this, please, God.
He can sense your fear.
You're only making things worse. We need to get out of here, now!
And just leave them here to die? The power's back on.
Oh, I guess the maintenance team was able to restore it after all.
That.
Oh my god!
He's going into cardiac arrest. Set up a crash cart for epinephrine injection!
Grab the pedals for the defibrillator. He may need to be resuscitated.
That dude is lucky.
Barely.
And this is where it all happened. The old man dragged Bill in there first, and then me just a few moments later. I wish I could have done more, you know? I was so scared at the time, but looking back now, I wish I would have pushed farther. Maybe I could have found him in there. We could have escaped together and...
No, don't talk like that. It would have been impossible to find him. It's a miracle you made it out of there at all, yet alone surviving. And you managed to save so many people already. Me, Dr. Buck, Tim.
That's kind of you to say. But honestly, I wasn't trying to save anyone other than myself. I knew when I got out that I had to make my way to the electrical room and get the lights back on, or else I'd end up in his pocket realm again.
Whether you did it intentionally or not, you saved people, Lawrence. You saved me. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Dang.
Hey, thanks for watching the video. We had a lot of
That really didn't explain much of SCP-106.
Yeah, it didn't really have that big of an explanation.
Let's see if we can find another one. Here's another one right here.
Yeah.
Ooh, this one might give us a little bit more information on it.
Yeah.
It's 3 a.m. and the facility is quiet. Office workers and administrators roam the halls. Security officers stand at their posts, clad in advanced tactical armor and carrying standard-issue M4 carbines. 3 Foundation employees sit at flickering monitors watching a live feed of footage from the containment cell of the infamous SCP-106,
It's Voldemort's cousin,
or
3
as
times
it's referred
removed.
to by all staff, the Old Man. No Foundation personnel
Maybe
are
that's
permitted
where
to
he
travel
got his
within 60
info.
feet of the cell for security reasons, and nobody is permitted to physically interact with the anomaly without the approval of 2/3 of O5 Command. The observer's eyes itch and sting from hours of unending blue light exposure, but they can't look away. The Old Man is crafty. He might have the insatiable bloodlust of a hungry great white shark, but he's not mindless. He's a calculating predator, more sadistic than the worst human serial killer, and he's always searching for the next opportunity. According to the Foundation records, he's been active since at least World War II, and it's estimated that he has hundreds if not thousands of victims to his name, and many of those made simple but extremely foolish mistakes of underestimating him. After all, it only takes a few seconds of inattentiveness and the briefest moment of distraction to give him the window he needs. To do what, you ask? Oh, don't worry. You'll find out, just like they did. The Old Man has his nickname for a reason. Most of the time, he really does look exactly like that, an old man, or more specifically an old man's decaying corpse, his body covered in rotten, dark, grayish-black flesh that looks like putrid meat. Though the creature has been observed being able to change shape, the rot seems to run too deep for the Old Man to ever hide it. Foundation employees that have observed SCP-106 for extended periods of time have reported seeing it assume the form of grinning, decayed children and women whose rotted flesh barely hangs on their creaking bones. Just seeing the images through a video feed is enough to cause a lifetime of insomnia and other sleeping issues. Still, they have a job to do and the cameras remain fixed on the Old Man. He's been completely motionless for 3 months, just sitting there like a Buddhist monk in deep meditation. A novice might see this period of inactivity as a cause for celebration, but those with experience know that this is merely the calm before the storm. SCP-106 can remain in a dormant state for months at a time. Described by the Foundation scientists as a lulling state, it's believed that the Old Man is simply waiting for its captors to get soft, make a mistake, or simply have a momentary lapse in concentration, which is all it needs to make its move. It had happened so many times before, and it was about to happen again. One of the observers must have felt an overwhelming wave of anxiety as he saw the creature ever so slightly twitch. Just a tiny quiver in the shoulder muscles, but that was enough to tell the observer that their day had just taken a terrifying turn. He grabbed the emergency phone fixed to his desk and practically screamed into the receiver that 106 is moving, that they need a tactical team stat. But he was already too late. He and the other 2 observers
How's it
stared
going?
into the monitors with their mouths agape
Yes,
as a
you-
gooey, rust-like substance began to pool around the creature on the floor of its cell. Slowly, the creature craned its withered neck around. Its face was fixed into a broad, yellow-toothed, lipless grin. Its eyes had the
That's a
kind of
big
dull,
syrup I
flat
don't wanna
malice of
try.
an underwater predator. It looked directly into the camera, directly at them, and smiled. The observers knew this was bad. Really, really bad. With what they could have sworn was a little nod, the Old Man began sinking into the rusty puddle it made on the ground beneath it, until it had
Oh,
disappeared
God, that looks
entirely.
so nasty.
SCP-106 is capable of phasing through any solid surface with ease, making it one of the hardest entities to reliably contain, and earning it a spot on the dreaded Keter class, reserved for the anomalies that are complete nightmares to keep locked up. Through the years of costly research and deadly trial and error, the Foundation would later devise ways of at least slowing the creature down. It's shown to have an aversion to lead, highly complex or random physical structures, and intense bright light. None of these cause harm to the creature, as far as we know, literally nothing can, but they'll at least buy you some precious extra seconds with which to at least try and escape. Seconds the 3 observers didn't have. One of them grabbed an emergency line again and barked into it that they had lost visual on the anomaly. Just then, the observers heard a faint, crackling sound behind them and the hissing of a chemical burn. They turned in horror to see a huge rusty burn mark expanding across the wall, right next to the door, which was their only escape route. They backed as far away from the door as they could as a rotten hand began reaching out of the mass of corrosive black sludge, followed by the grinning face of SCP-106, ready to have some fun.
Open sesame!
Meanwhile, two heavily armed security officers, Agents Goodwin and Resnick, came charging down the corridor toward the observation rooms. It became a bleak slogan during SCP-106 escape attempts that all you need to do is follow the screams, and that motto was proven true that night, because awful things were happening to the observation personnel. They were certainly screaming about it. Of course, even with the top-of-the-line firearms, there was little they could do to harm the rampaging old man. He seemed immune to all forms of physical damage. All they could hope to do was keep the thing distracted until the scientists and containment specialists finished the preparations to lure him back into his containment
See, this is
cell.
where the black
Goodwin
light should come
surged
in.
forward while Resnick covered his six. Vigilance was key,
They
as
radiate
unlike
UV
a standard
light.
human combatant, SCP-106 could attack from literally any angle, including above or below. Physical obstacles were irrelevant to him, and no cover was safe. The hardened security officers could see the burn mark on the wall of the observation room as they approached. SCP-106 was perpetually coated in a thick black mucus with powerful corrosive properties that left any surfaces it touched permanently marred. Foundation scientists speculated that this mucus served as a kind of pre-digestive substance that tenderizes meat and bone alike, but to what purpose this serves is a mystery, as the old man has never been observed eating. It's postulated that the only purpose is causing additional pain. Goodwin and Resnick knew to treat this hissing sludge as a potential threat, as the corrosive properties would remain active for as much as 6 hours before finally fizzling out. The two officers shared a quiet nod before Goodwin breached the observation room door with a hard kick. The two of them surged inside, guns at the ready. In their time working at the Foundation, they'd seen some truly horrific sights. From the mutilation of D-Class personnel, typically death row prison inmates brought in for use as SCP guinea pigs, to the violence and mayhem of a containment breach. But there was nothing in their past that would ever make the horrifying sight they saw in the observation room that night feel normal. All three observers were dead. Almost nothing remained of two of them, and the third, while still intact, no longer looked human. He looked like he'd somehow been dead 100 years in the brief period that the old man had been free. His skin was gray and completely dried out, and his mouth was locked into a perpetual scream. It was a massacre, but there was no sign of the old man. Goodwin grabbed his radio and whispered, "This is Goodwin in Observation Room 6, requesting immediate backup. We have no idea where this thing..." But his sentence was cut off by a sudden scream from Agent Resnick. SCP Foundation security officers are as tough as nails, the best of the best, you might say, recruited from the top military organizations in the world. So hearing one of them scream in fright is a rare, if not impossible, occurrence. But even they were forced to yell out in fear when they looked up to see the old man standing on the ceiling, grinning down at them. Resnick raised his M4 and shot a 3-round burst at center mass. SCP-106 didn't care. Even under sustained gunfire from the two security officers, it didn't flinch. The old man simply reached down and snatched Agent Resnick from the ground like it was picking an apple from a tree. The old man held Resnick in one hand and pounded its other rotten fist into the agent's body, breaking all of his bones. Resnick screamed for his partner to help him, but there was no time. Before Goodwin could do anything, SCP-106 began receding back into another slimy burn mark on the wall. Only this time, he was taking his screaming victim with him. Agent Resnick gave one more horrified scream before he was pulled backward into the inky darkness, leaving the room silent except for the burning hiss of the corrosive goo left behind. You might think this would be the end of it, but no. For poor Agent Resnick, the worst was yet to come. He was being dragged into what the SCP Foundation scientists refer to as the Old Man's Pocket Dimension, a miniature layer of reality within our own where the malicious SCP is essentially a cruel, all-powerful god. According to witness reports extracted from victims who were taken to this little nightmare realm, the dimension resembles a series of twisting, endless corridors where the old man stalks and tortures his captured victims to the breaking point, manipulating space and time to his own sadistic ends.
It's almost
On
like
rare
the Upside
occasions,
Down
the
from
SCP
Stranger
will even
Things.
release its victims just for the joy of hunting, capturing, and torturing them all over again. While Agent
Jesus
Resnick was
Christ.
learning the true meaning of terror, containment specialists were mobilizing in its cell, preparing the one known tried and true method of luring the old man back. tempting it with the prospect of causing even more suffering. In order to do this, Foundation personnel take one of the aforementioned Class D personnel and begin inducing extreme pain by breaking a major bone or slicing a tendon every 20 minutes. The victim's agonizing screams are then played over the facility's intercom, acting as bait for the pain-loving old man. The screams echo through the facility's otherwise silent halls as the mutilated corpse of Agent Resnick falls from a new scorch mark on the ceiling. The old man can hear the sounds of suffering ringing out through the air around him, and he can barely contain his excitement over the prospect of a new plaything. The snapped femurs, the torn Achilles tendons, it was all too good to miss. Having had its twisted fun with the security officers and observers, SCP-106 wandered back to its containment cell, where a new screaming victim awaited. The other security officers, containment specialists, and scientists evacuated the area, leaving the old man alone with his prey. While the unfortunate Class D was left to his fate, the rest of the staff commenced cleanup procedures, which mainly involve wiping the brown and black mucus from the walls. It would probably be at least another month before anything like this happened again, and new personnel would be transferred over to the facility to replace the fallen. All in all, just another night at the SCP Foundation.
Jesus Christ.
Yikes.
Like, no thank you.
All is quiet at the facility.
Yeah, because that is like beyond creepy.
Like, and it's just like what I remembered from the game as well.
Yeah. Because,
Like, no thank you.
like, oh my god. It's like, how can you have that in containment that's that scary and not be terrified of it?
It's like even hard for me to explain. I'm maybe a horror loving person, but this guy, yeah, no, I'm good. No, thank you.
No.
I think I'm just gonna retire early and quit my job.
The only information that they really gave that he was from World War II.
Oh no. So he's German.
It's 3 a.m. in the...
Well, not that he's German.
I was joking.
I know, it's just... There's... I'm not sure, but I feel like there's more to this story because all it's saying is what it does. It doesn't say what he is.
Or where he's from.
Mm-hmm. Maybe there's not that much information on him.
Probably not.
Because you even heard this story from when you were younger. And I've only heard in middle school when I first got into looking into SCPs.
Yeah, but even in the game itself, there wasn't a lot of information about the old man, but I've been calling him Larry since because that's how I remembered him as. So.
Radical Larry.
Yep, Radical Larry.
Yeah. I'm still wondering, where is he from?
I have no clue, but...
Do you think he was experiment gone wrong?
Probably.
That would be my guess.
The other thing is he could be just a one of those entities that just can't be explained.
Yeah. There's going to be a lot of theories on this one.
Oh yes. Ooh.
But thank you to the commenter for suggesting that we watch this video.
Yeah, it triggered a whole lot of old memories. Thank you. But it was worth it.
Yeah, definitely. We'll have more videos coming out soon, and hopefully my speech will be a lot better. I'm going to speech therapy for it, so
It'll get better, don't worry.
yeah. I hope so. But
Yeah.
right now I'm doing alright, just getting an occasional headache. But I've been keeping my mind occupied by doing some 3D puzzles.
Nice.
This is what I have so far on the one I'm working on. I absolutely love 3D puzzles.
That looks awesome.
Right? Wait till you see when I'm done, because I'm still gonna make about...
It's so tiny.
I know. It's
So
cool,
itty bitty.
It's so cool. I can't wait till I'm finished with it.
It's gonna be fun.
It's gonna look awesome.
Oh man. I think there should be more videos about the old man.
There's a lot of animation videos, but we'll have to look.
We'll have to do that another time.
Yeah. Alright. Go. See you next time, my sweet little Scorpios and Sting Nation, and her little demons.
My darling little demons.
I'll see you next time on StingReacts.
Ah ha ha.